Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to our Srimad Bhagavatam Stutis series. Continuing with Chitraketu's glorification of Lord Sankarshana. Today's shloka is shloka number 40 of chapter 16, canto 6. Jitam ajita tada bhavata
Jitam ajita tadha bhavata
yadaha bhagavatam dharmam anavadyam
yadaha bhagavatam dharmamanavadhyam
nishkinchanaye munaya
nishkinchanaye munaya
Atma Ramaya Mupasate Pavargaya.
atma ramayamupasate pavargaya.
Word for word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jitam,
Jitam,
conquered.
conquered.
Ajita,
Ajita,
O unconquerable one.
O unconquerable one.
Tada,
Tada,
then. Bhavata,
bhavata,
by your lordship.
by your lordship.
Yada,
Yada,
when. Aha, spoke. Bhagavatam, which helps the devotee approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
which helps the devotee approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Dharmam,
Dharmam,
the religious process.
the religious process.
Anavadyam,
Anavadyam,
faultless, free from contamination.
faultless, free from contamination.
Nishkinchanaha,
Nishkinchanaha,
who have no desire to be happy with material opulences.
who have no desire to be happy with material opulences.
Yea, those who. Munayaha,
Munayaha,
great philosophers and exalted sages.
great philosophers and exalted sages.
Atma Aramaha,
Atma Aramaha,
who are self-satisfied, being completely aware of their constitutional position as eternal servants of the Lord.
who are self-satisfied, being completely aware of their constitutional position as eternal servants of the Lord.
Yam,
Whom
upasate,
upasate,
worship, apavargaya, for achieving liberation from material bondage.
for achieving liberation from material bondage.
Translation. O unconquerable one,
O unconquerable one,
when you spoke about Bhagavata Dharma,
when you spoke about Bhagavata Dharma,
which is the uncontaminated religious system
which is the uncontaminated religious system,
for achieving the shelter of your lotus feet,
for achieving the shelter of your lotus feet,
that was your victory.
that was your victory.
Persons who have no material desires,
Persons who have no material desires,
like the Kumaras, who are self-satisfied sages, worship you to be liberated from material contamination.
Worship you to be liberated from material contamination.
In other words,
they
accept the process of Bhagavata Dharma.
They accept the process of Bhagavata Dharma
to achieve shelter at your lotus feet.
To achieve shelter at your lotus feet.
Reading from Srila Prabhupada's purport. As stated by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam Anukulyena Krishnanu Sheelanam Bhaktiruttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desires for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. The Narada Pancharatra also says, Sarvopadhivinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam Hrishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchyate. One should be free from all material designations and cleansed of all material contamination. He should be restored to his pure identity, in which he engages his senses in the service of the proprietor of the senses. That is called devotional service. This is also called Bhagavata Dharma. Without material aspirations, one should simply serve Krishna as advised in Bhagavad Gita, Narada Pancharatra, and Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavata Dharma is the process of religion enunciated by pure devotees, direct representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead like Narada, Shukadev Goswami, and their humble servants in the disciplic succession. By understanding Bhagavata Dharma, one immediately becomes free from material contamination. Living entities who are part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are loitering in this material world, suffering. When they are instructed by the Lord himself about Bhagavata Dharma and they adopt it, that is victory for the Lord, for he then reclaims these fallen souls. A devotee following the principles of Bhagavata Dharma feels very much obligated to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He can understand the difference between life without Bhagavata Dharma and life with Bhagavata Dharma, and thus he ever remains obliged to the Lord, taking to Krishna consciousness and bringing fallen souls to Krishna consciousness is victory for Lord Krishna. Savai pumsam paro dharmaha yato bhaktir adokshaje ahaitukya pratihata yayatma suprasidati. The supreme occupation dharma for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted in order to completely satisfy the self. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Shloka number 6. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is the pure transcendental process of religion. Some astonishing statements made by Srila Prabhupada. And of course, Chitraketu in the shloka. What is Chitraketu saying? That those devotees who are taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, it is the Lord's victory. How can it be the Lord's victory? Is the Lord ever defeated by anybody in reality? But it's like as if the Lord is keeping count. Okay, one more soul has come back to me. Another soul has come back to me. Another soul has taken shelter of my lotus feet. So it's like he's anxious and he's awaiting the return of all of those souls, millions and trillions of souls who are separated from him. We are only thinking about the millions in terms of the human beings, but what about the trillions of souls who are occupying other kinds of bodies? So across the chain of Jivatmas, the Lord is anxiously awaiting. And every time one Jivatma takes shelter of his lotus feet, Chitraketu is saying, that's your victory. Success to you, my dear Lord. You were very successful in getting one more Jivatma to take shelter at your lotus feet. It's a pretty astonishing statement that even the Lord is anxious for victories like this. And then Chitraketu is talking about those who have no desires at all, no material desires, like the 4 Kumaras. They are actually worshipping the Lord to get moksha, to get relieved from this cycle of birth and death. That means even the jnanis like the Kumaras is what Chitraketu is saying. Even they are accepting the process of Bhagavata Dharma. For what purpose? To just seek shelter at your lotus feet. Now, we call the Lord Ajita, unconquerable. But the Lord is able to inspire some of the Jivatmas to take to the process of bhakti. And when they take the shelter of his lotus feet, he feels elated. So, Anytime somebody is performing bhakti, the Lord is quite happy. He thinks he has won against Maya. How is that possible? Because Maya is his Shakti potency. Why should the Lord feel elated? Why should the Lord feel victorious? Because nobody can defeat him anyway. But the Lord himself is feeling victorious here because one Jivatma has taken the process of surrender. So Chitraketu himself taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord is victory for the Lord. So in the process that we are following in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, the Bhagavata Dharma that is being spoken about here, it begins with meeting a Bhagavata. So dharma of following this process of bhakti yoga begins with meeting a Bhagavata, coming in touch, in contact, whether it is physical or through words, it's Vapu Seva or Vani Seva. That is how our journey begins. So the Guru comes into your life, the Acharya comes into your life, like our beloved Srila Prabhupada, and leaves some instructions for you to follow. Chant so many rounds, observe Ekadesi, come to the temple regularly, take up sevas in the temple, don't be distant from the temple. So implementing the instructions of the Acharya is left to us. Whether we accept all of their instructions or some of their instructions is up to us. So Srila Prabhupada very beautifully is quoting shlokas here. Chitraketu is referring to jnanis like the Kumaras. So what do the jnanis relish? For the jnanis, the process of enjoyment or victory for them is discovering and learning all about the manifestation of this universe, the mechanics of how everything operates. For them, that is a victory. They get pleasure in learning more, discovering new things through the process of studying the Vedic scriptures. How do the bhaktas get their enjoyment? The bhaktas get their enjoyment simply by serving the devotees, being in the association of devotees and serving the Supreme Lord. And also undertaking some worship at home of the deities or that you have kept on your altar. So the impetus is given to us, but we have to act on it. So here Prabhupada is talking about Bhagavata Dharma. In ISKCON, we follow two dharmas. Actually, our acharyas say Bhagavata Dharma is sufficient for you to go back to the spiritual world. Bhagavata Dharma is the 9 processes, no? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. So this is actually Bhagavata Dharma. Bhagavata Dharma is more than enough. The acharyas inform us to take us back to the spiritual world. However, Prabhupada also talks about the Narada Pancharatra Vidhi, which is what we also follow, which is following some observances of worshipping the Lord, offering bhoga to the Lord, decorating the Lord, offering flowers to the Lord, offering dhoop, a ghee lamp. These things also we have to follow. That is why Prabhupada and our acharyas have established temples. Otherwise, temples are not necessary in Kali Yuga. Why? Because we evaluate everything based on relationships. And if you truly want to establish your relationship with the Supreme Lord, where you understand you are the servant serving the Lord, then in the temple you are given an opportunity to serve the Lord as a servant in so many different facets. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, yesterday in the Bhakti Vaibhav class that we were attending, our teacher, His Grace Sundaranityananda Prabhu, was saying so beautifully that in ISKCON, everything is, actually not just in ISKCON, in the Bhakti movement, everything is organized so nicely that everybody in the chain benefits. And I think Prabhu was using the example of how in the altar, when the pujari is doing the arati, all of us are watching Mangala Arati every morning, at least those of us who join for the arati. We just relish seeing the Lord being worshipped so beautifully. And Prabhu was mentioning so many people benefit from it spiritually, knowingly or unknowingly. The person growing the flowers, who doesn't know that the flowers that he grew has ended up in one of the ISKCON temples. That person gets benefited when those flowers are offered. The person who has purchased the ghee and offered it to the temple, and that lamp is lit with that ghee, that person has benefited spiritually. In the sense, the Lord is accepting services from so many different jivatmas. In that simple process of worshipping the Lord, so many people are getting benefited. The person who stitched the clothes that is offered on the altar, the person who went and shopped for the jewelry that is adorning the Lord's body, the person who is organizing and planning for all of this, that person is getting benefited. The person who is inviting devotees to come to the temple for festivals, that person is getting benefited. So you can see a small, apparently small act in the temple. It is benefiting a whole host of jivatmas. And in this way, we're getting an opportunity to serve the Lord. Right? That is why we emphasize the importance of coming to the temple, serving in the midst of other devotees, because without that, you will not have that personal experience of connecting with the Lord. There's nothing as joyous as being in the midst of devotees, especially during festivals or Mangala Arati or Shayana Arati. You feel like you're in contact with the spiritual world. You are transported to the spiritual world. So therefore, Prabhupada is quoting so many different shlokas to remind us what our duty is. It is Bhagavata Dharma. But that duty should be performed without material aspirations. Our desire should be to simply serve Krishna. And Prabhupada is saying, the Bhagavad Gita tells us to serve Krishna. The Narada Pancharatra tells us to serve Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam tells us to serve Krishna. So this entire Bhagavata Dharma is the process, Prabhupada is explaining, of religion that is enunciated or described by pure devotees who are direct representatives of Lord Krishna, just like Narada Muni or Shukadev Goswami, or everybody coming in that disciplic succession. So we should not waste this human life. We've been given this opportunity to follow this path of Bhagavata Dharma. And if we're not completely following it, then we should consider it our greatest misfortune that we've been given this gift, but we don't know how to relish that gift, how to enjoy that gift. We are not fully utilizing and enjoying that gift. So here, as long as each one of us feels that we've taken truly shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord is feeling quite victorious, that he has conquered one more jivatma who is in the path of coming back to him, returning back to him, back to God.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.